do when they travel. I don't know. All right. But anyways, the reason why we're here is to toast to Mark and Dana, and that's what we're here to do. A lot of times these toasts end up being more like roasts, and you end up embellishing on what the groom, his life has been like for the 30-some-odd years up to this point. I'm just here to tell you that there is no need for the two of us to embellish on anything that we're about to say. Everything we say, and it's going to be hard to believe, but everything we say from here on out is 100% true. That's scary. Sometimes it's sad, but it's going to be true. So I just need to say that before I begin. I have to be honest. The first time I met Dana, I was pretty sure Mark was going to find a way to blow it. You see, we were at my parents' house. They'd had us over for dinner, almost certainly pasta. And we were sitting around beforehand, and we were drinking wine. I don't know if you guys know this. Mark is a wine connoisseur. He swishes it. He's great. We were sitting around. We were having a couple glasses of wine, and Dana mentioned that Mark was getting ready to turn 31. Which wasn't true. He was actually getting ready to turn 32, and I corrected her and said, well, he's getting ready to turn 32, but hey, 1 year, what's the difference, right? We moved on from that, and she then mentioned that, how exciting it was that Mark was a psychology major at UConn. Now, I don't know if any of you guys went to UConn with Mark, but he walked by a psychology classroom once. Not a major, though. Didn't major in psychology. And then the pièce de résistance, the kicker for me, was when Dana mentioned that Mark was lactose intolerant. See, he just didn't like cheese. That's not the same thing. So, way to kick it off, Mark. How to be a liar, that's good. Appreciate that. Had to break a lot of bad news that night, but obviously they stayed together and it's worked out and we couldn't be more happy, but it was a little rocky that first couple meetings. So.
I'd also like to welcome our guest from Baltimore. We actually found out last night that Dana's grandparents' last name is Miller. No worries. Spike and I did a quick family tree cross-check.
Came out clear.
No relation. So the good news is Mark and Dana's kids won't have horns growing out of their foreheads. I think I speak for Spike and the rest of the groomsmen when I say that if I got one more text, voicemail or email from Mark telling me where I needed to be and at what time, I honestly... Sorry. Thought I turned this off. It's actually a text from Mark. Spike and Matt, just a reminder, your best man toast is at 8:30. And please remember to return the tux tomorrow. Unbelievable.
On the ball, buddy. Way to be.
Well, this reception is just about an hour old, which means it's officially longer than Mark's acting career. It's too bad that didn't pan out, because I thought it would have been really cool if somebody made it in Hollywood who had their headshots done in the alley behind the Venetian. And for the record, the Miller family has been secretly living in fear that a couple risque photos from that shoot were going to end up on the internet one of these days. Crossing our fingers. When somebody close to you gets married, you always think back to the point where you thought, this time was different, or she could be the one. And with Mark over the years, I always heard him say things that describe his dates, complete goof. She's an absolute mallet. Complete clown. So when Mark and Dana started dating, I didn't hear any of these things. I thought, wow, she must be pretty special. You're not a mallet, Dana. At this time, Spike and I put together a list of reasons why Mark is just now getting married.
Alright, first reason. If you ladies actually stick it out with a grown man who has a Ray Bork jersey tacked on the wall above his bed, I need to remind you, everything we're telling you is absolutely true. Not joking.
He finally realized it was okay to miss wiffle ball games and horseshoe tournaments at Pev's house. Actually, Pev had like 8 kids and stopped having them, but whatever.
He still shows up to Pev's house every once in a while, but he's not, This is a man, by the way, who in his late 20s stole a mattress from his parents' house and drove off yelling, "Your pasta sucks," to his distraught father in the process.
The hair dyeing finally came to an end. After the maintenance expenses were becoming so outrageous, he felt like he had a second mortgage payment.
Speaking of second mortgages, anybody who's in the market for one, call Landmark Mortgage. That's Landmark Mortgage, ask for Matt. Anyways, next reason, ordering Cocoa Puffs on a first date proved to be a major turnoff to most women.
His favorite alias, Mitch, the Air Force pilot, was no longer effective.
Not a lot of people actually realize this, but Mark actually suffers from low self-esteem, brought on by 7 consecutive 9th place fantasy football finishes in a 10-team league, so sorry.
Torch will love this one. It took some time, but the George Clooney comparisons evolved into Polly Walnuts and Taylor Hicks. Soul Patrol.
And finally, Mark's extreme patriotism frightened off some girls along the way. After all, this is a man who the night before his state championship high school hockey game slept draped in an American flag. I wish I was making this up. Right now, I wish that wasn't true, but it is. But seriously, everybody in this room knows the reason why Mark is just now waited to get married. Anybody who knows Dana knows that Mark was waiting for the perfect woman to come along. And we couldn't be more happy to have somebody joining our family who is as loving, caring, and compassionate as Dana is, and understands all of his flaws, and all of his family's flaws, and is willing to accept that. Dana, we love you. We are so happy for you guys, and thank you for just making us a part of this, and we couldn't appreciate it more. So.
Almost, not yet. Mark's not the only one in the family that did a little acting. No, this isn't a Nicolas Cage reference, but I actually spent the better part of my childhood pretending that I didn't want my younger brother hanging around me all the time. But then I smartened up. Because when the funniest, most loyal and generous guy you know wants to spend most of his time with you, and that person happens to be your brother, you have no choice but to embrace that. And I know I'm not the only one in the room that feels this way. That's what separates Mark from everybody else. All these qualities in one man, and the best part is, we haven't seen his finest hour. Sorry. And I think I speak for everybody in this room when I say I can't wait to see what the future holds for Mark and Dana, and I just feel lucky that I'm going to be a part of it.